You sit down to a plate of beautifully grilled fish, warm, tender, laced with herbs and lemon, and think, this must be healthy. And for many it is. But for older adults, the truth runs deeper. Because some fish, even the ones that look clean, taste premium, and carry a reputation for health, are quietly working against aging bodies. You don't feel it right away, but mercury, heavy metals, and chemical residues begin to settle in your memory, your nerves, your heart. As we age, the body's defenses soften, and what once passed through without harm now lingers. The result? More fatigue, foggy thinking, subtle signs that often go ignored until they can't. That's why today we're peeling back the surface and exposing 6 types of fish older adults should seriously reconsider. Each one backed by science, each one carrying a risk most people never see coming. If you care about protecting your clarity, your strength, or the health of someone you love, stay close, because what you're about to learn could change everything. Let's begin. Fish number 1, king mackerel. Let me talk to you, not to the screen, not to the crowd, to you. You've earned your wisdom. You've made smart choices for years. So when someone says fish is good for the heart, it makes sense. It feels right. But not all fish are created equal. There's one in particular, popular, flavorful, often praised, that may be doing the exact opposite of what you intend. You eat it thinking it's helping. But inside, it's slowly delivering something your body can no longer flush out the way it used to. Mercury. When we're younger, the body clears it. But as we age, that natural filter weakens. And instead of leaving, it stays. It stores in your brain, your nerves, your heart. And with every meal, it quietly builds. You don't feel it at first, but over time, a little more fatigue, a little more forgetfulness, a hand that trembles just enough to notice. And it's easy to say, that's just aging. But what if it's not? What if it's something you can still control simply by making a switch? Because the truth is, you don't have to stop eating fish. You just need to avoid the wrong kind. Trade that mercury-loaded fillet for wild-caught salmon or sardines, rich in omega-3s, low in toxins, and kind to the body that's carried you this far. You've come too far to be quietly worn down by what's on your plate. This isn't about fear, it's about precision. And one small shift in your meal could ripple into years of clarity, strength, and peace. Fish number 2, tilefish. Let me ask you something. Have you ever sat at a nice restaurant, maybe celebrating a birthday, an anniversary? You see whitefish or catch of the day on the menu. Sounds clean, healthy, safe. You order it thinking you're doing the right thing. But what if that elegant little dish was tilefish? And what if tilefish is one of the most dangerous fish an older adult could eat? You see, tilefish, especially the kind caught in the Gulf, carries some of the highest mercury levels of any fish on Earth, higher than the one we just talked about, and far more common than most people realize. Now here's what makes it dangerous. It often shows up under innocent names: grilled whitefish, pan-seared fillet, fresh catch. But what's behind the label could be harming your brain without a single warning sign. Because mercury doesn't just affect memory, it disturbs balance, disrupts your mood, numbs the nervous system, slowly. And if you've already noticed occasional forgetfulness or moments where your coordination feels slightly off, it may not be just age, it could be accumulation. You see, your body doesn't eliminate mercury like it once did. That means it stores. And tilefish, with its elevated mercury content, speeds that process up. People pay a premium for it. They think expensive means healthier. But in this case, the price tag is misleading, and the cost could be your clarity. So here's what you do. The next time you're dining out, ask. Don't be shy. Don't be polite. Be informed. Ask what kind of whitefish it is. If it's tilefish, skip it. Choose code. Choose haddock. Choose clean. Because your body, your brain, is still fighting for you. It just needs fewer enemies and a little more backup. And you deserve to know what's on your plate before it turns into something you never saw coming. Fish number 3, swordfish. There's something about this one, isn't there? It feels luxurious, special, the kind of fish you treat yourself to on a cruise, a birthday, a fancy dinner with family. And maybe you've said it before. Just this once, I've earned it. But this particular fish, it doesn't reward you back. Swordfish is one of the largest predators in the ocean. And because it lives long and eats deep into the food chain, it absorbs more mercury than almost any other fish. By the time it reaches your plate, it's been soaking in toxins for years. And when it enters your body, it doesn't leave quietly. If you've been feeling more foggy lately, if your hands tremble slightly, if your balance feels off, or your sleep doesn't restore you the way it used to, this could be one of the reasons why. Because here's what most people don't know. You can't cook mercury out. Grilling it, searing it, seasoning it doesn't change what's inside. And for older adults, that mercury lingers longer, hits harder, and stays deeper, especially if you've already got high blood pressure, kidney strain, or any neurological sensitivity. Swordfish adds pressure where your body needs relief. Now here's the part that stings. You only eat it once in a while, so it feels harmless, but the body doesn't reset between servings. It stacks quietly. So what do? You don't need to stop enjoying food. You don't need to give up flavor or richness. Just make a smarter swap. Try trout, especially rainbow trout. Try pollock, mild, clean, satisfying, and kind to aging nerves. Because you're not just feeding your hunger anymore. You're feeding your future. And every bite either builds you up or chips away at something you can't afford to lose. Fish number 4, ahi tuna, big eye tuna. Let's talk about a fish that hides behind style. It's the one you see on sushi menus, in upscale seafood platters, on fancy plates with drizzle, garnish, and a reputation for being light and healthy. And maybe you've joined in. A night out, a fresh sushi roll, a moment that feels modern, social, clean. But underneath the elegance lies a hidden weight your body might not be equipped to carry anymore. Big eye tuna, also known as ahi tuna, is sleek, deep red, and praised for its taste. But behind that beauty, it's one of the most mercury-loaded fish served raw. And that rawness, that's what makes this one so dangerous for older adults. Because here's the reality. This fish lives long, swims deep, and feeds on other fish, which means it collects mercury from the entire chain below it. Then it's sliced, served raw, uncooked, which means whatever's inside goes directly into your system, unfiltered. And here's the other layer. As we age, our immune systems naturally weaken. What your body could once fight off, quietly, effortlessly, now hits harder and stays longer. Ahi tuna can expose you not just to mercury, but to bacteria and parasites your gut might not have the defense to neutralize. Listeria, salmonella, and things no one likes to talk about until it's too late. A younger person might recover with rest, but for someone over 60, even a minor infection can spiral into something serious. And when you combine mercury plus potential bacterial risk, that's a silent double hit on a body that deserves protection, not punishment. Most people assume all tuna is the same, but it's not. Big eye tuna and albacore, high mercury, skipjack tuna, the kind found in canned light varieties, is far safer, cleaner, easier on digestion, and still delivers the omega-3s your brain and heart need. So here's your move. If you enjoy tuna, keep enjoying it. Just switch the type. Cooked, canned, light, and limit it to a couple of servings a week. Because you shouldn't have to give up the foods you love. You just have to make them work for you, not against you. And right now, one small switch can mean fewer risks, steadier energy, and a stronger tomorrow. Fish number 5, farmed salmon. You walk into the store, you see a salmon fillet, bright, pink, neatly wrapped, sitting on ice. The price? Great. The label? Fresh. Your instinct? Healthy. But here's what most people never see. Not all salmon is created equal, and the kind that's farmed, especially from countries with weak regulations, it may be doing the opposite of what you hope. Let me explain. Farmed salmon isn't raised in the wild. It's grown in cramped, underwater cages, packed tightly with thousands of other fish. They don't hunt, they don't roam. They're fed pellets, cheap, processed feed, and surrounded by waste. To survive that environment, these fish are pumped with antibiotics. And to make the flesh look pretty, they're given chemical dyes, because without the dye, the meat would be gray. But here's the part that should make you pause. That same feed, often contaminated with PCBs and dioxins, toxic industrial chemicals linked to inflammation, hormone disruption, even cancer. Now imagine what that does to an older body. A body with slower digestion, a body already managing arthritis, blood pressure, or immune decline. Those chemicals don't just pass through, they stay, they inflame, and over time they make recovery harder and health more fragile. Most people eat it thinking they're doing something good. They hear salmon and think omega-3s, but the benefits are drowned out by the toxins because the source matters more than the name. So here's the upgrade. Choose wild-caught Alaskan salmon, not farmed, not dyed, not force-fed in cages. Caught clean from cold waters, rich in true nutrients, not industrial residue. Yes, it costs a little more, but your body is worth more than the discount. You're not just buying food, you're buying protection. And at this stage in life, the investment pays itself back in energy, clarity, and strength. The salmon label might not tell you the whole truth, but now you know what to look for, because you've come too far to be fooled by packaging. Fish number 6, imported catfish. Let me take you somewhere familiar. You're in the kitchen. There's that smell, rich, golden, comforting. A pan of catfish sizzling just like it did decades ago. A recipe passed down, a tradition held close. It's not just food, it's memory, it's home. But what if I told you that very same comfort in today's world may carry a cost your body can't afford? Not all catfish are equal anymore, and the ones imported from overseas, especially from countries with loose oversight, often come with a silent threat. You see, many of these fish are raised in unregulated farms, murky water, poor hygiene, and to keep them from dying in those conditions, they're loaded with banned antibiotics and chemicals the US doesn't even allow in livestock. But when you buy that imported catfish, cheap, abundant, easy to find, those chemicals come with it. And here's where it becomes dangerous for older adults. Your immune system isn't what it used to be. It still works, but it's slower, which means bacteria that used to pass through unnoticed now linger, infect, and overwhelm. Drug-resistant strains, stomach bugs that spiral into full-body weakness, infections that land people in hospital beds, all from what felt like a safe, familiar plate. Now imagine this happening to someone already managing blood pressure, joint pain, or lowered immunity. It's not just risky, it's devastating. And the heartbreaking part? It happens quietly, because this fish doesn't look suspicious. It smells like memories. It feels like the right thing. But that's how the trap works. So here's your way out. If you love catfish, don't give it up. Just choose US farmed catfish. American standards are stricter, cleaner waters, regulated feed, no banned drugs. And always cook it thoroughly, no shortcuts. Because your comfort food should bring comfort, not danger. You've worked too hard, lived too long, and come too far to let tradition become a silent threat. Choose memory, but also choose protection. If this opened your eyes, share it. Someone you love might need it. Subscribe if you're ready to take control of your health. And see you soon in the next one.